Who is going to be the first to take that trip to Goon City? Now available on ProWrestlingTees.com, the newest design for Off The Script, taking that trip to Goon City. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script, $19.99. Get yours today on top of version 1 and version 2 of Get Off My TV. Goon City is the newest addition for the Off The Script podcast, hosted by yours truly, JD from NY. Let's all take that bus trip to Goon City collectively, man. Let's populate Goon City and show why this is the #1 fucking podcast on YouTube.com, man. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Is part number 2 of number 113 of the #1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes. Well, as of late, or as of yesterday, subscription boxes were fucking broken. Some of you didn't even realize Off The Script was uploaded yesterday. So, I don't even know if I could actually say that this week. But you guys get the fucking point. This is Off The Script, episode number 113, part number 2 for your Saturday, April 16th, 2016. What a top story we got for you guys today. Well, I don't mean to say that I told you so, but I fucking told you so, man. Monday Night Raw ratings failing in the Roman Empire. It's about time this Roman Empire has its fucking king killed, and we get some fucking order back in the kingdom. I don't know, man. Something's got to be done, but we'll discuss it. Big news story on Roman Reigns and failing Monday Night Raw ratings, but they were failing before Roman Reigns was the champion. Now they're probably just going to get even worse. We'll discuss it. Whole news article that I found on the dirt sheets this weekend, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you missed part 1 of yesterday's Off The Script for Friday, please go check the description down below, or I'll leave an annotation right here in the top corner of the screen. You guys might have missed it. Sub boxes were broken yesterday. It was going crazy. Videos did not publish. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But this is why I'm here, okay? To let you guys know what happened. If you missed it, link is down below. It's in the video. Or the other best option is to follow me on Twitter, at JDfromNY206. You'll never be lost about what happens here if you guys are following me on Twitter. That's JDfromNY206. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for, man. WWE news delivered to you top notch from a real WWE fan, giving it to you guys the way it should be. As always, brutal, honest, and upfront with no bullshit behind it, man. That is what Off The Script is about. So please, if you're not subscribed, join Team JD. ProWrestlingTees.com. Thank you to everybody that has ordered your Goon City t-shirt so far. Selling very well, and I greatly appreciate all you guys showing some support. If you guys want to get your own Goon City t-shirt, as well as the Get Off My TV line and the original prototype Off The Script t-shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. It's a great way to represent the show and support the channel. So thank you to everybody that has done so thus far. And WrestleCrate.com. If you guys want the #1 fucking subscription service delivered to your front door for wrestling shit, Pro Wrestling Tees and fucking WrestleCrate.com got you covered everywhere, man. Because Pro Wrestling Tees, not only can you get my t-shirt on my online shop, they're also in the fucking WrestleCrate. They are in the WrestleCrate, man. Every Ultimate box comes with a fucking t-shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com. So, it's unbelievable, man. 10% off using my coupon code JDSentMe. Instant 10% off right at checkout. That's on the standard crate and the Ultimate Crate. That's WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates, man. So go show those guys some love and support. And the podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom, man. It is up. It's fucking hot. If you guys missed that, all the information you need will be linked down below. I also did a podcast with the guys over at Chairshot Reality, Blake and Shane. So you guys want to go do that and listen to that as well. You guys got plenty of wrestling shit all weekend to keep you covered, man. I'm on that podcast with the Chairshot guys doing a segment called JD's fucking Goon of the Month. Who's the Goon of the Month this month? You guys got to go listen to it and find out. Their podcast link will be down in the description. They are available on AudioBoom and iTunes. So make sure you guys go check them out as well and show some love and support. Now, let's get into the news before I have some fucking goon cursing me out. Oh, JD, the video starts at 6 minutes and 13 seconds. Go fuck yourself, man. Roman Reigns. Let's talk about Roman Reigns. Everybody's fucking favorite WWE superstar. Especially the guys over in India. I know you guys love Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. You can find him in fucking aisle 3 at A&P. Roman Reigns. Monday Night Raw ratings falling hard with Roman Reigns as the world champion. No, it's really Roman Reigns. You fucking clowns. It's not really shocking that all the fans nowadays in WWE are not fans of Roman Reigns. I was going to say Roman Reigns again. And they were even less thrilled when he won the WWE Championship from Triple H at WrestleMania 32. I think everybody was, even though we kind of knew what was coming. It's now obvious that many fans are actually doing their own version of rioting. And they're doing it by striking against the promotion. Ratings for the past 2 weeks of Monday Night Raw have dropped hard. Just like your mother found out last night. And they keep falling with Reigns on top. On the go-home show for WrestleMania 32, all the big names were present on Monday Night Raw. And the numbers were up to 3.77 million viewers and a 2.66 rating. That had gone up from the week before, and Cage Side Seats reported that it was the first time WWE had seen a rise in the ratings in a month. Some may look at the current ratings and think that things are going well, and in some ways, they are. The thing is that WWE has to wonder what the problem is with long-standing ratings for Monday Night Raw and how they've continued to decline over the course of the last 2 years. It's not fucking rocket science as to why WWE and Monday Night Raw have been dropping in the ratings for the last 2 years. We'll go over that in a second, because there's a fucking plethora of reasons, and some of the biggest reasons will be discussed right here. The night after WrestleMania 32 was a big one for WWE, and Monday Night Raw was actually a very good show with Shane McMahon in charge of it all. The show scored a rating of 2.93 and was up to the average of 4.09 million viewers, which was a really nice increase over the show before WrestleMania 32. Many would be happy with that, but it's hard to ignore the difference that a year makes. ProWrestling.net reported that the Monday Night Raw on the night after WrestleMania 31 last year drew a rating of 3.68 with an average of 5.36 million viewers. That makes a gigantic drop from one year to the next, and it's a huge cause of concern. WrestleMania 31 took place on March 29th last year, and the second Monday Night Raw, which happened a full week later, drew a 2.81 rating with 3.96 million viewers. That was on April 6th, 2015, and when compared to this year around the same date, they were almost the same. That is not a good sign. Let me stop right there, okay? The reason why WWE, I'm talking specifically about this year, the reason why WWE has seen stagnant ratings throughout 2016 and really did not see a spike in ratings for WrestleMania 32 and the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 32, WWE only has themselves to blame. I mean, do you guys realize how bad Monday Night Raw has been? Do you realize that the road to WrestleMania was fucking awful? Most of it didn't make any sense. And for a company that really thrives on WrestleMania being the absolute biggest fucking show for them in the fiscal year, which it usually is, they made fucking, how much money? $18 million at the gate for WrestleMania 32? They don't give a shit. I mean, I think the ratings to WWE are the last thing on their minds. They're making $18 million at the gate at WrestleMania. They got fucking an attendance of 97,000 fucking people at AT&T Stadium. Merchandise sales and every other fucking thing that they're doing. They made so much money for WrestleMania this weekend, or this past weekend. So, I don't know what's going on this past weekend, a couple weeks ago. They made so much money for that WrestleMania weekend, is what I meant to say, that WWE really doesn't care about the ratings when they see all that coming in, okay? We as wrestling fans, we don't give a shit about the money that they're making. We don't give a shit how much merchandise they sold, how much money at the gate that they're making. We want quality television on Monday night. You know, a good Monday Night Raw, like we seen this past Monday, is not going to increase the ratings, okay? WWE has not developed characters that are going to intrigue the audience. They have not developed characters or created storylines for those characters that we can dive into and just be interested in. There's nothing there for us to continue watching week to week. Especially with the way Monday Night Raw was going during the road to WrestleMania. Most of it didn't make any sense. Most of it frustrated us. Most of it pissed us off. To the point where if you really missed one Monday Night Raw, you weren't going to miss anything. You were not going to miss anything. And like I've been saying in the lead up to WrestleMania, it looked like WWE wanted to go into WrestleMania, get it over with, and then fucking get the fuck out of there. That's all they that's all they wanted. They didn't give a shit about anything but the money they were going to make in front of 100,000 fucking people. That's all they wanted. They didn't give a shit about storyline. They didn't give a shit about logic. They didn't give a shit about anything. You know? Because WWE, when it comes down to it, even amidst all the injuries, they could have still put on a good show. A good show that made sense and that was logical. They failed to deliver. They did not. Point proven. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley, and Shawn Michaels got a bigger pop than anyone on the active roster in 2016. What does that fucking tell you? It means WWE has neglected every aspect of their roster. And when you think back to WrestleMania 32 and who got the biggest reaction, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a retired WWE legend, got the biggest fucking ovation and the biggest pop of the night. That proves it all, and that says it all about how shitty WWE has been over the last 2 to 3 years. They don't give a shit. And they're not going to give a shit. They're not going to give a shit because they're still making that money. They still got network subscriptions. They got 1.8 million people subscribed to the fucking network. They're pushing the network. They don't give a shit about the ratings. Vince McMahon even said he doesn't give a shit about the ratings. But I tell you what, ratings do still have a lot of pull. Ratings are still important because NBC Universal obviously wants to see ratings. They want to see numbers. They want to see audience retention. If you make NBC Universal unhappy when their contract is up, Monday Night Raw might not have a fucking home in 2 years. You know, I don't know what's going on with that. Ratings still have a very, very big part in what WWE does. Now, granted, people might watch on DVRs, people might watch on YouTube, and WWE uploads everything from Monday Night Raw in a smaller package on YouTube, and people just want to watch the highlights because there's a lot of filler, and really there's a lot of filler on Monday Night Raw, so people really wait for the next day where they can watch it commercial-free and just watch the most important aspects of the show on YouTube. So, there's a lot of different ways to get Monday Night Raw instead of sitting through 3 laborious hours of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. But WrestleMania last year, look at these numbers. 5.36 million viewers after WrestleMania 31 for that Monday Night Raw. Why is that? Because WWE did something that nobody really expected. Roman Reigns was going into a match with Brock Lesnar, and everybody expected Roman Reigns to beat Brock Lesnar and slay the Beast. That did not happen. WWE threw a curveball and gave Seth Rollins the WWE Championship by him having cash in the Money in the Bank. Surprise, swerve, an unexpected ending that nobody's seen coming and that everybody was fucking happy with because they genuinely like Seth Rollins. They appreciate the athlete and the performer and the wrestler that Seth Rollins is. You know, it was either Brock Lesnar or nobody. Nobody wanted Roman Reigns to win the WWE Championship last year. So when Seth Rollins won it, and he did it in that fashion, everybody wanted to know what was the next step. What was Brock Lesnar going to do? And WWE delivered a fantastic fucking show last year. Obviously, it's worthy of the 5.3 million viewers. But then again, you know, those are the people that watch not too often. Those are the people that watch specifically for WrestleMania and then to see what happens the night after WrestleMania, and then they go back watching sporadically throughout the year. They'll catch things here and there on YouTube or on Twitter, whatever the case may be, man. Those are not the every week tryhards. Those are not the every week WWE fan, okay? So, WWE, it all goes back to what I stated. It goes back to putting on a great fucking WrestleMania. WWE did not do that. They pissed a lot of people off with that WrestleMania. They made a lot of stupid decisions that drove people away from the product with that WrestleMania. Why would anybody give a shit about what happens the next night? Especially if you gave the title to a guy nobody wants with the title. Nobody wants with the title. WWE has neglected every fucking aspect of their roster for the last 2 years. Coming into 2016, they made one thing and one thing only the most important thing on their menu. That was to get Roman Reigns over. That was to get him over with the audience and make sure he was set and in a strong position to go against Triple H. Meanwhile, in every twist and turn, it failed. People were getting tired of it. They didn't want it. People left the product. They didn't care about WrestleMania. And when they did watch WrestleMania, because everybody watches WrestleMania, they were disappointed even worse than we even expected. So WWE has themselves to blame here. A shitty WrestleMania leading into a Monday Night Raw that's the biggest Raw of the year. There was no excitement coming out of WrestleMania. That's why the ratings were fucking terrible, and that's why they continue to be terrible. 2 weeks in a row for a Monday Night Raw that's been great, fine. It's going to take more than 2 weeks. It's going to be a lot longer than 2 weeks to build this brand back up and get the viewers back and gain their trust. No matter how many 5-star matches we see with Sami Zayn and AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw, that alone is not going to be enough. There's not characters on the roster that we genuinely care about. Everyone in the Attitude Era we genuinely cared about, whether it was a Val Venus, a Godfather, the Legion of Doom, D-Generation X, yet Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind, Kane, Undertaker, you name it, up and down. Everybody that came through that curtain we cared about. Can you honestly say we care about that many guys nowadays? No, we don't. Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, the future. We care about the future. But for far too long, WWE was giving us Cena, Alberto Del Rio, Kane, Ryback, Big Show. You name it, man. They were giving us guys, and in main event spots nonetheless, that we just did not care about. There was no logic behind storylines. They were not pushing the right guys. They were not building character and storylines on Monday Night Raw. Why would we care? Why would we care? WWE only has themselves to blame. And with Roman Reigns right now, it's going to get worse. It is only going to get worse, which makes it interesting come Payback, because is WWE really going to trust Roman Reigns? And if so, how long? How long is it going to take for WWE to pull the plug on this and give someone else the title and see what happens as far as ratings go? This week on Monday Night Raw saw another drop from the week before as Showbuzz Daily revealed in the weekly ratings. It brought in an average of 3.5 million viewers and a rating of 2.5, which is down from the previous episode. On the night after WrestleMania 32, WWE had to compete with the NCAA Basketball Championship game, and that may have hurt the ratings some. Obviously, that did. This week, there was no serious competition for Raw, and yet it still fell in the ratings, even though it was a great fucking show. Over the course of the last year, WWE's ratings have been quite horrible for their standards, and has been blamed on numerous things. Bleacher Report puts it on the creative product simply being bad overall. True, and although, and throughout the company, What Culture also says that the ratings are hard to judge now as the Nielsen rating system doesn't take DVR and other things into account, which is what I just said. There is inconsistency with who watches the show and when and what kind of device they are watching it on. Maybe fans are tuning out due to so many injuries and their favorite stars are not being on WWE television. But then again, that's WWE's fault for not building up somebody else for us to be invested in while that other superstar returns from injury. Still, there is one thing that has remained consistent over the course of the past 2 years, and that is Roman Reigns. He's been chasing and winning, losing and winning, and chasing and losing the WWE title since November 2014. The reaction he gets from the crowd shows the fans are tired of him, and when talk started up of a strike of WrestleMania 32 and the main event, it wasn't taken too seriously. The reason for that is because nobody believed it would happen, and it didn't. The stands remained full for what that main event was, and nobody walked out. Now, though, the ratings for WWE shows are dropping, and drastically. Maybe some of the fans have finally decided to do something about it, as Forbes suggested, and they are doing it by turning off their TVs. They now know that Reigns is the focal point and the champion. And if they don't watch, WWE doesn't get ratings. The fans have spoken, and they let it be known that they just don't like Roman Reigns, or at least this version of him. As a do-it-all John Cena-esque babyface, fans have totally turned on him, and they just don't care anymore. Now that he is the WWE Champion, they seem to be actually doing something about it, and that's why ratings for Monday Night Raw will likely just keep on dropping. That is a big fucking story, guys, and something that we are going to pay very, very close attention to. Now that it's out in the open and now that it's being discussed, Roman Reigns is in his second week as WWE Champion coming out of WrestleMania. How the ratings are going to be with him as champion going into Payback is going to be very interesting to dissect and watch. I am not going to pin this completely on Roman Reigns. We have to see what he does as champion first. Obviously, I can tell you right out of the gate, it's not going to be good. Nobody wanted him. Nobody wants him as champion, okay? But this mostly has to do with WWE Creative. This has to do with the creative direction of the company. And the fact that WWE did everything in its power to solely focus on Roman Reigns, and they forgot everything else. Everything else was unimportant except for Roman Reigns. This is why the ratings are failing. This is why WWE is in the shithole. No matter how good Monday Night Raw was this past Monday, it's going to take a whole year, if not more, of shows like that to build the trust back in the product. We want Attitude Era-esque storylines. You don't got to push the envelope like you did in the Attitude Era. We don't need blood, but give us creative direction that we can fucking sink our teeth into, come home, and watch 1 week, and all we do is talk about that Monday Night Raw leading up to the following Monday. That is all we want. That is all we want. Do you see the buzz going around Monday Night Raw this past Monday? Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson debuted. It was a great fucking show from top to bottom. It flowed beautifully. There was great wrestling. People are still talking about Monday Night Raw and how great it was. How is WWE going to follow up? If you have consistency like that from week to week over several months, WWE will slowly get their ratings back. But Roman Reigns is always going to be a blimp on the radar. What is Roman Reigns doing as champion, and how is it affecting ratings? They gave it to the wrong man. They gave it to the wrong man. They booked the wrong storyline. And WWE now is going to pay the price. And it's going to be up to them if they want to pull the plug or keep Roman Reigns as their number one guy. Or as he says, the guy in the company. Going to be very interesting to see. Let me know what you guys think is the reason for the Monday Night Raw ratings failing, and especially now that it's being out in the open, or it is out in the open. Is Roman Reigns fully to blame? Is it WWE creative, Vince McMahon, the direction of the company? You let me know in the comments below. Very, very hot topic right now. Speaking of something that is great right now in the WWE, the women's division. WWE planning for Sasha Banks to become the women's champion at SummerSlam. The Boss is a major player in WWE. She is arguably the best female wrestler on the roster, and she's only 24 years old. There is no rush on the bus as far as Sasha Banks is concerned. Obviously, many people are upset that Sasha didn't walk out of WrestleMania as the WWE Women's Champion, but her big moment is coming much sooner than you'd think. According to DailyWrestlingNews.com, Charlotte is going to hold the WWE Women's title for the majority of 2016. The current feud with Natalya is expected to last both Payback and Extreme Rules in May. It's being said that after that, there will be some kind of angle that will keep Banks versus Charlotte on the back burner until SummerSlam, when WWE is expected to push that feud into the spotlight for the women's division. Apparently, the original plan was Banks versus Charlotte for WrestleMania, but WWE made the decision to hold off on that feud until SummerSlam. It looks like the Boss will be winning the WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam as of this report. She'll be more than ready, and Banks versus Charlotte already has a ton of history. What's going to happen when it gets them the main spotlight in the WWE for the division? Banks versus Charlotte could go down in wrestling history. This is no surprise. Nobody listening to me right now should find this as a massive surprise or a spoiler. This is the way the WWE was going, and we all seen it coming out of WrestleMania. I'm glad that the WWE did not go with Banks versus Charlotte one-on-one. Becky needs to be included, and she needs to be kept in the spotlight with everything the women do. Okay, the more competition and the more women you have built up, the more women you have in the spotlight for the fans to see, the better. It's going to make the product better, it's going to make the division better, and it's going to make the division more competitive. That's what you want. So I really did like, and I can appreciate the WWE giving us the triple threat match at WrestleMania. I think it came off better. It was the right decision. Banks losing at WrestleMania, I was not upset with, okay, because I knew where the WWE was going when that decision was made, and Charlotte walked out of WrestleMania with the championship and the new women's strap that they created for the division. It's going to be a great match. SummerSlam is where, or SummerSlam weekend, I should say, is where Sasha Banks is known for her prized moment. NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and that entire weekend was talked about because of Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Sasha going back into Brooklyn this year after last year's fucking monumental women's match, one of the best women's matches, if not the greatest women's match of all time. Now this year she's on the main roster. She's going right back into Brooklyn, and she's going to win the women's championship. You can't get any better than that, man. Sasha Banks obviously is the most popular woman on the roster right now. She's fucking featured everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, WWE.com, you name it. They're spotlighting Sasha so much that you know something big is coming up. And I remember back a couple of months ago, we were all just fucking pissed. Like, she was off TV for 3-4 weeks at a time. Where the fuck is Sasha Banks? There was rumors that she was hurt. There was rumors that Vince McMahon didn't really care for her or care about her. Then there were reports that Vince McMahon is a major supporter of Sasha Banks. Then she gets a WrestleMania moment. She was highlighted all the way up until that match at WrestleMania. And now here we are talking about Sasha Banks becoming the women's champion at SummerSlam, going one-on-one with Charlotte. Listen, the women's division is looking pretty damn fucking good, and I'm excited to see what happens, and it's going to be great to see how WWE handles that, and it's going to be great to see Sasha Banks walk into Brooklyn and win the women's championship from Charlotte. Unbelievable, man. I can't wait to see what happens with that. And speaking of the women, there's a lot of news on Bayley. There's one person that has become the calling card for the women of WWE and NXT. It's Bayley. She's fun to watch, great for the kids to look up to, and respected by the men of WWE for her talent in the ring and on the mic and what she does for the WWE Universe. Fans feel she could be bigger than John Cena if WWE allowed her to be promoted as much. NXT has had a use for her name for some time now because of the lack of major stars for the women of NXT after Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky Lynch left for the main roster. To WWE's credit, they brought in Asuka to help the division, and they're going after other talented women from around the world as well. All are being trained by the great Sara Del Rey, which helps a great deal. However, lack of star power is a problem for NXT when it comes to the women, as there are only a few who can really sell the division. The rest are in need of more time before they can be considered great, okay? This is probably why we have yet to see Bayley make her main roster debut. The question is, when will we see her do so? Sadly, there is not much to be known. According to PWInsider.com, WWE currently has no plans to bring Bayley up from NXT anytime soon. This is probably a good thing for Bayley and NXT. First and foremost, she remains in the NXT Women's title picture and a top star for the NXT brand, which, to me, I don't understand why they actually made the decision to take the belt off Bayley if they're going to keep her around. I would have saved that for NXT Brooklyn. I would have had Asuka win the title at Brooklyn and continue to build that up. But I guess WWE figured that Bayley now is probably in a better role, or a role that better suits her as the one chasing the title against the unstoppable Asuka. So I don't know. I'm not upset with it. I just figured that if Bayley was going to remain in NXT, that she would remain NXT Women's Champion. But I guess we were wrong. But Asuka is the champion, and I guess WWE, like I said, wants Bayley to chase Asuka, who's been pretty much unbeatable. On top of this, NXT needs her far more than the main roster does. The main roster has about 5 or 6 women who can get things done for them in the women's division. Meanwhile, NXT only has 2 big stars to work with. Asuka is far better served, or Bayley, I should say, is far better served staying in NXT for a while and coming up later, being that it's just her and, like I said, Asuka. The rumor going around is that we very well could see Bayley make her jump to the main roster later this year, sometime after SummerSlam, which I originally stated and talked about on my iTunes version of Off The Script. Like I said, if you guys want to go listen to that, I do talk about the women's division in depth and what I think is going to happen with Bayley sometime later this year. You guys can check that out on PodBean and iTunes. Links are down below in the description. This would be good and bad for WWE and for her character. WWE is planning on stretching out the storyline for Sasha and Charlotte as Charlotte continues to duck the boss until later this year. In the meantime, she'll take on Natalya and potentially Paige in the upcoming months. Paige just dropped off the radar. Nobody gives a shit about Paige right now, so I'd say keep her away. She needs to be built back up to be a credible challenger for Charlotte. Finally, the two are supposed to meet one-on-one at SummerSlam for the WWE Women's Championship. The idea, according to most, is that Charlotte will drop the title to Sasha Banks there, which opens up the two having a rematch at the next pay-per-view. Afterward, there is a thought among many that WWE could have Bayley versus Sasha Banks at the Survivor Series. This would capitalize on what they did last year around the same exact time period for the NXT Women's title with their first ever monumental Iron Man match. And it was just unbelievable. Blew everybody away. This would be good to see from WWE, and it could possibly be the best thing for the company at the end of the day. The problem is, NXT cannot be without her or without another top lady. That means NXT will have to start building someone up before Bayley can be called up. It seems the fans have rejected Eva Marie, and, I mean, why would they accept Eva Marie is the fucking better question. Why would they accept Eva Marie to begin with? Please. Did you guys see the fucking photos of all the WWE superstars posing with the old school titles? I mean, you look at that, man, and you look at that Eagle belt. Oh my god, dude, I think I fucking got a hard on looking at Kevin Owens, no homo, with the fucking Eagle belt over his shoulder, man. I mean, give me a fucking... Even Roman Reigns looked great holding the Eagle belt. He looked like a champion holding that belt. I hate the new title. I really do. And they had a picture of Eva Marie holding the Women's Championship, the one Trish Stratus and Lita made famous. Give me a break, man. Some of you actually tweeted me. I think I'm going to vomit in my mouth after looking at this fucking picture. Eva Marie belongs nowhere near the top of the women's division or a fucking title. The only thing she belongs on top of is... I'll leave that to the imagination. We won't get there, okay? We won't go there. But the fans have rejected Eva Marie, who really is the only other girl they've built in NXT outside of Asuka. Dana Brooke is a possibility, which I would much rather accept Dana Brooke. Emma is not there. She's on the main roster now, I believe. Alexa Bliss is another one. But it all depends on how they want to use them. If WWE can build someone or sign a big-name lady, Bayley will obviously be called up before the year is over. If not, we may see Bayley stay in NXT for a little bit longer. Some will rejoice at this, while others will be upset. Regardless, that seems to be how things are going to go right now. This is what I said on the podcast on iTunes and PodBeAN. Charlotte, Sasha, your main priority, okay? I think they will stretch it out a little bit longer and they won't introduce Bayley. I originally stated that Bayley could probably make her way to the main roster on that Monday Night Raw following SummerSlam. I might change my mind on that right now. I think that might be a little bit too early. If they want to push it towards the Survivor Series and save another big debut for the main roster for later in the year when things are potentially really slow as far as storylines go and things become uninteresting, Bayley could be a nice shot of adrenaline to the main roster, okay? And what I say is Charlotte, Sasha, your main priority right now. You plan for Bayley to be built up and brought to the main roster with the idea that she will play a major role at WrestleMania, okay? Whether you want to get all four of them in one match, I'm down with that. Like I said, Becky has to remain in the top card or the upper echelon card for the roster of the women's division. She has to be in the main event scene. You don't want her slipping to the point where nobody's going to care about her. As long as she's in the spotlight, as long as she's within grasp of the title, that's where you have to keep Becky. You have to keep her important. You have to keep that momentum. The more women you have built up, the more important and the more prestigious the women's division is going to be. This is the first time I've been excited about the women's division in fucking, I don't even know how long, man. Since really Lita and Trish Stratus. So WWE has a great thing on their hands right now. They have to think about the future. Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania 33 is where their mindset should be. That's where it should be, okay? Sasha's going to win the title. She's going to maintain that status as the #1 woman in the division. And what do you want? Charlotte's going to fade away just a little bit. She's going to take a few steps back. She's not going to be in the title picture. She had her moment in the sun. She will have another moment. But now it's all going to be about Sasha. What do you want for Sasha at WrestleMania? How do you one-up yourself from this year's WrestleMania, which the women had the best match on the fucking card? Bayley versus Sasha for WrestleMania 33. That's where you have to go. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's where WWE's mindset should be. Create that, get that vision, and build towards that. WrestleMania 33, man. After this year, I don't know how much worse that they can get, but have that vision in mind. Bayley versus Sasha for WrestleMania 33. That's what I would do. Seriously, that would be the ideal match for WrestleMania 33 as far as the women go. Moving on to other news. Zack Ryder. Everybody's complaining about Zack Ryder and his title loss to The Miz. I got updates on this. Zack Ryder had an amazing WrestleMania weekend, and a dream came true for the man when he won the Intercontinental Championship for the first time in his career. Ryder had a great WrestleMania moment that no one can take away from him. The interesting part in all this was that Neville was originally supposed to be in the match, but due to his injury, Ryder was given this role. That means if Neville had never gotten hurt, Ryder wouldn't even have been on the WrestleMania card. Then all of a sudden, he wins. It was a happy shock that the fans loved to see. Then WWE ruined it the next night, and they had The Miz beat Ryder for the IC title. He had just won. Most assumed The Miz and Ryder would, of course, battle for the championship, at least through Payback. However, it appears WWE is going in a different direction. On Monday Night Raw, the company went with a match involving Cesaro and Kevin Owens, where the winner would get a shot at the IC title at Payback, and Cesaro ended up winning. The rumors that WWE will be putting the title on the Swiss Superman, but we'll have to wait and see. As for Zack Ryder, it appears he'll be going nowhere near the Intercontinental Championship. According to cage side seats, Zack Ryder is headed back to NXT, where he will team up with Mojo Rawley and remain a hype bro for a little while longer. Ryder did tease a possible storyline with The Miz on social media, but WWE clearly went in another direction. This makes twice that the WWE has screwed over Ryder when it comes to a singles title. The last time this was when WWE gave him the United States Championship. They took that away from him rather quickly, and he even got screwed over by WWE in a storyline with Kane, both of which he never truly got a chance to make it right from a storyline perspective. It seems like WWE is willing to give Zack Ryder things, but they want to screw him over every chance he actually gets. Most believe that if WWE was trying to make the IC title or take the IC title off Ryder and put it on The Miz, why not have The Miz win at WrestleMania? There was really no point in having Zack Ryder win if nothing was going to happen for Zack Ryder going into the future. Even if the title was going to be removed quickly, Ryder could at least have a pay-per-view blow-off match, which would have given him a title shot and a shot at redemption. However, The Miz has now Maurice to help him, and had Maurice help him the last 2 times with Ryder, which means there is a story for Ryder there, if the WWE so chooses. He easily could call for a match where Miz has to work without his wife, or some type of stipulation. WWE simply has no reasoning for its dismissal of Zack Ryder, all political. It seems like WWE are always willing to give him a shot, but they never actually let him do anything with it once they give him the shot. He has been with WWE for about a decade now and is more than able to do more. But he has been given so many chances, or he has not been given many chances, and when he does get a chance, WWE takes it right away from him. When he is given those chances, he does do well. However, it appears WWE does not care how well he does. They never truly were going to give him anything past a certain point, despite fans' outcry regarding Zack Ryder. WWE wants him to remain where he is. While Ryder is beloved by WWE fans and has earned the respect of us all, it appears that he still has work to do, and he has to work his way up the card and take advantage of any more opportunities the WWE does give him. The problem for most fans is that Ryder excels at his chances, but WWE does not let him go past a certain point. Hopefully, things will change eventually. I got nothing more to say on that, man. It was a complete waste of fucking time. I mean, if it was me, Kevin Owens would have walked away with the IC title, and we would have been building with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the IC title. I mean, the IC title to me is fucking dead. It really is. It means nothing to me anymore. You know, I've stated this several times. Back in the day when we used to watch WWE, the IC title was more important to me than the WWE title. You got guys like Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper, guys like that holding the title, right? What WWE needs to do with the IC title is not give it to a Miz, is not give it to a Zack Ryder. Kevin Owens was great, but WWE didn't let Kevin Owens do anything with the title. They didn't let him run with it. They gave it to him, and then 2 months later, they took it off of him. Gave it to Ryback, gave it to Dean Ambrose, and then gave it right back to Kevin Owens. And then Kevin Owens again didn't do anything with it. WWE had the right idea with John Cena and the United States Championship. They gave the number one guy in the company the United States title, which in turn made the United States title more relevant than the WWE Championship at the time Cena had it. And it was more relevant than it has been in the last fucking 20 years. The United States Championship was fucking great in the hands of John Cena. He gave us great matches with guys like Neville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, etc., etc. No matter if you hate John Cena or you love John Cena, he did well with the United States title. That is a fact. WWE had the same idea with Daniel Bryan, giving Daniel Bryan the Intercontinental title. That was their idea, and unfortunately Daniel Bryan got hurt and he had to relinquish the title. But I get where the WWE was going. They wanted to give 2 huge names, 2 mid-card titles to develop those titles and get those titles in the spotlight. The idea was there. And then after that, WWE seemed lost on how to book both titles, respectively. Kalisto ain't doing jack shit with the United States title. I don't see The Miz doing anything with the Intercontinental title. Guys like Roman Reigns, guys like Randy Orton, Guys like that need to have hold of the United States and the Intercontinental title. That is the only way you are going to build up credibility for both titles. And by default, when an Orton or a Reigns or someone big like that has an Intercontinental Championship or a US Championship, everybody that's in the ring with them is going to look strong, and it's going to make the title look strong because it's defended by guys the caliber of an Orton. You get where I'm going with that? It needs to be on guys with name recognition and guys like that, a Cena, an Orton. I don't know. I don't understand why WWE doesn't take an Orton and give him an IC title. I mean, why wouldn't Randy Orton want the Intercontinental title? I mean, it's not only about the WWE Championship. And as far as the WWE Intercontinental Championship, back in the day, it always used to be, and you knew for a fact, it was always the second most important thing on the fucking card and in the WWE. WWE doesn't even fucking care about the IC title or the United States title. We should see IC titles in main events on Monday Night Raw. We should see title matches on Raw, pay-per-view, you name it. Build up the credibility of the title. It's not that difficult. Zack Ryder, I knew he was going to lose as soon as he won it at WrestleMania. I even told my brother, who was sitting right next to me, this is a fucking waste. He'll lose it tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. And what did he do? He lost it to The Miz. So I don't know what's going on here. Cesaro, I'm not sure if the WWE is going to play, hot potato with the title and give it to Cesaro. I think Cesaro certainly deserves a shot with the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, why would you stop his momentum? Everybody knows for a fact Cesaro can fucking wipe the floor with The Miz. Unless it's going to be a screw job finish and we get a couple of matches out of it for a few pay-per-views. But my point here is giving the title to guys like The Miz is not going to build up the title. Okay? Because the title means nothing. If you give the title to a Randy Orton and then you have a Randy Orton beaten for the title, then it makes that guy who beat Orton credible, and it makes the title credible. Simple. I don't understand why WWE can't grasp that and apply it to their programming. I just don't understand why. And do I have one more news article here? I think I do. Actually, no, I'll save it. I don't want to read too much because then I won't have anything for Sunday. It's about the League of Nations. League of Nations are breaking up. Why? We'll talk about it tomorrow. I think I went long enough. How long is this video going? We're on 46 minutes. Might cut it down. It might be 40 minutes, but you guys got enough off the script. 40-minute off the script for Saturday, man. What the fuck you guys want from me? But that's part 2, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, show a thumbs up. Show some appreciation with a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Everything you need is down in the description below. Make sure you guys go check that out. The iTunes Podbean podcast is down below. Make sure you guys go check that out. If you missed Off the Script for yesterday due to the broken sub boxes, that's linked down below. I'll be back on Sunday with part 3 of Off the Script for this weekend. More news to come. Rivalry with AJ Styles set to aid Roman Reigns in a heel turn. What does AJ Styles, or how does AJ Styles fare in the WWE? Does he have the support of Vince McMahon and higher WWE officials? Update on the debut of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. What's next for both men? And the League of Nations breaking up very, very soon. Got news on that. Plus, AJ Styles working too stiff in the ring. Is WWE and its performers complaining about AJ Styles being too stiff in the ring? Will they finally ban the Styles Clash? All that plus so much more on part 3 of Off the Script. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Until then, I'm JD, and I'll see you guys for part 3 on Sunday morning.